Hi everybody, the greatest goblin that ever lived is back with another giant-sized comic book review for 2 weeks worth of books. Just been real busy here lately and these books are piling up, but just enjoying what I'm doing here. Not going to do any pick of the week stuff or anything like that, but what I am going to do is just pull out a book, talk about it, and just move on. We're going to start with the first week and then go on to the second week, of course. Let's see, we're going to start with this pile. We're going to start with some Marvel. We're going to start off with all new, all different Avengers, number 12, Mark Waid, Muhammad Asrar. Good stuff. This is such good stuff. If I could really sum up this book in one word, it would be Katang! Because you see that a lot in here. A certain set of bracelets get used a lot in here. It's basically a rescue mission to save Spider-Man, Miles Morales, who, you know, my bro, TheMtVernonKid, is absolutely right. Miles has basically become like a damsel in distress kind of character, and it really is kind of insulting to the character because they've overdone that angle multiple times. It's like, okay, he got captured again, and this time he's been accidentally been left behind to tangle with the Nihilus. So the Avengers go in there to, you know, help him out. Well, but while they're doing that, we get a nice little intermission or inner monologue in the middle of the book concerning the new Wasp getting to spend a day with the original Wasp, Janet Van Dyne. And I thought that was some pretty touching, pretty good stuff. But Mark Waid does a really good job with the writing. Still does. He can even tell your basic rescue mission, action, bam, pam, bam, pow, walloping story. He can even do a good job with that. It's just really good. And I really dug the ending. I thought, you know, seeing Nova, you know, reacting to outer space in a more, in a way that seems more humbling. You know, as you know, he's a Nova. He's seen space before, but now he's just looking at it from an all-new perspective. He's like, yeah, it really is kind of awesome. It is just, thought it was really touching. This was just all-around good stuff. Waid just knows his shit. I'd give it a 4. The Amazing Spider-Man 1.6. This is part 6 of Amazing Grace. Melina and Bianchi. This is still one of those storylines that, you know, could still rub people the wrong way. It's all based on faith. It's all based on beliefs, religion, stuff like that. It just... And this issue, it takes it up another notch with the whole Jesus save me this and God save me that. And I've seen people on the internet, you know, saying that this kind of storytelling just won't fly with everybody because everybody's got different religious viewpoints. There are some people who don't practice religion at all. You know, it's just, you just got to take it for what it is. You know, I got it because I'm a Spider-Man nerd and I'm a total mark for old Webhead. But this, to me, this storyline is going to be easily forgettable in a couple of years or so. It's just nothing about it, and I'm not saying this because of the religious crap. It's nothing about it has truly gripped me to where I can safely say this story will be memorable. It's not even going to be memorable for good or bad reasons. You know, it's like a few years from now, people are going to look back on the story going, oh, wait a minute. I think I read that. You know, it just feels that way. But still, the artwork is great. That's probably the best part about it. The story's not bad. It's just, it's easy to see where storytelling like this can strike a nerve with some people based on, you know, beliefs. But it's okay at best. I'll give it a 3. Black Panther number 4. man, this is good stuff. This is really good. Tanishi Coates, Brian Steelfreeze. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the writer's name. Oh, Steelfreeze. God, so good. This is really good. I'm pretty sure this is the end of this particular creative team's run. I think we're moving on to a new creative team in the next issue. I'm not 100% positive I remember that or not, but this is just really good stuff. It's like, T'Challa is being warned, this is, more than demonstrations. I mean, this is a full-blown revolution. Wakanda's just going nuts. You still got people who support the king, but then you got people who want to, free the lands. We will not bow to, kings and everything like that. And, questions are being asked and not too many answers are being given. And T'Challa, by the end of this book, is hit really hard. I mean, somebody just hits him really where it really can hurt. And he, the artwork doesn't do a great job. I will say this. The ending of the book, the artwork doesn't do that great of a job displaying his inner rage, but man, the writing sure does. The writing just tells it all. It's just good stuff. Don't get me wrong, artwork is brilliant, but I would like to have seen more artistic expression in the end of the book to fully display T'Challa's breaking. It's just good stuff. I loved this issue. It gets an easy 4 from me. Steve Rogers, Captain America, number 3, Nick Spencer, Jesus Size. Oh God, good stuff. Okay, we're getting more and more explanation, getting more and more detail as to why Steve Rogers is who he is right now. And to see, for me personally, as a Captain America fan, it really is tough to see Steve take his costume, take his shirt off, and paint the Hydra symbol on his chest and bow to the Red Skull. It just looks so goddamn bizarre. You don't want to see Superman bowing to Lex Luthor. You sure as goddamn sure don't want to see Spider-Man bowing to the Green Goblin. So seeing Steve Rogers bow to the Red Skull, literally bow to him, that's just a sight that I don't think I'm ever going to shake out of my head. It's just so fucking weird. It just messes with me a little bit. Red Skull is basically scolding him for failing his mission as the Hydra agent he's supposed to be. And minor spoiler, Jack Flag did indeed survive the fall that he succumbed to in the first issue. But man, really gripping storytelling, really great artwork. I really dug this issue. Now this is a good example of a book or a series that may be a little more memorable years to come. Really good. Gets a 4. Civil War 2, number 4. I gotta say, Bendis is doing a good job, the best he can with the writing, and Marquez's artwork is just stellar. But man, so far this storyline is doing a really good job. I don't even know if it's intentional or not, but this is just how I see it and this is how I feel. But it's really doing a good job of painting Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, as the villain. Using the storytelling of, you see something that might happen, that could possibly happen, and punishing somebody for something that they don't know they're even going to do, or something they haven't done yet. It's just ludicrous. Yeah. Now, I know a lot of people would say, oh, I'd like to go back in time and kill Hitler, or I'd like to go back in time and stop Charles Manson from committing the Sharon Tate murders. I get it. But, I'm still with Tony on this one. If something is meant to happen, then maybe it should happen, because, you fuck with the timeline, you fuck with the stream of time, it has a way of fucking you right back. And on top of that, we get to see the painful anguish of She-Hulk. Yes, She-Hulk wakes up in this issue. She wakes up from her coma, and it's just, you can just sense her inner anger, her inner rage when, spoiler alert, Hawkeye is acquitted for the murder of Bruce Banner. And it's just the way the progression is going, the way the pacing and the pacing of the plot is going. It's obvious who Marvel wants the hero to be and who Marvel wants the villain to be in this storyline. I mean, it just looks that obvious to me. And to make matters worse, I have to spoil it because it just irked me. On the last page, it's shown that the Guardians of the Galaxy have sided with Carol Danvers. Shit. Well, it irks me because this is a group of people, this is a super group that used to work with Iron Man. Hell, for a brief period, Iron Man was a Guardian of the Galaxy. So to see something like this, it does kind of come off as a bit of a betrayal. Oh man, this storyline is just going all over the place, and honestly, I can't get enough of it. It is that gripping. Now, I can understand where some people are getting, irked at this and saying that this storyline is complete shit. I get it. A lot of people are tired of seeing heroes versus heroes. That's understandable, but it's just good writing, great artwork. He gets a 4. Extraordinary X-Men number 12. This is another part of the Apocalypse Wars. Jeff Lemire, Humberto Ramos. In here we get to see why Deadpool's mouth was sewn shut. Woohoo! Storm and her team of X-Men are trying their best to pretty much save Apocalypse from dying because his life force is what's keeping the Omega world literally kept together. And if he dies, everybody else goes out. So it's like, oh God, I gotta save your sorry ass to save all these people kind of thing. It's one of those scenarios, and it's done very well. And seeing Nightcrawler just blinded by rage for Apocalypse, it's one of those kinds of moments where you don't see it very often, but when you do see it, it does feel special in terms of adding to the plot, adding to the story. And it just makes for good stuff. But just as Apocalypse is laying there dying, he feels like it looks like on his dying breath, he's gonna continue to hit the X-Men where it hurts, and he does something with Colossus that I'm not gonna ruin here. Even though this book's been out for a while, I still don't want to spoil it. But good stuff nonetheless. Another 4. All right, The Mighty Thor number 9. Jason Aaron. Still some solid stuff. Loving this. Digging the Silver Samurai Jr. or whatever the fuck people call him in here. Good stuff. I guess it's another one of those I gotta save your sorry ass to preserve stuff kind of scenario with Dario Agger and everything. Meanwhile, Odin is still tending to Frigga and everything. But still, really cool stuff. Digging it. I'm really loving it. Aaron still continues to kill it on this series. For those of you who still won't accept Thor being a woman, wake up and give it a try. It's not too late to jump on board for Jane Thor. Awesome. Love it. It gets another 4. I mean, Marvel's just kicking all kinds of ass for this stack. Spider-Gwen number 10. Jason Latour and Rodriguez. In here we get to see this world's interpretation of Kraven the Hunter. And I gotta say, he looks pretty badass. Now, he doesn't look a thing like the Kraven the Hunter that we've all known and loved for so many years. This particular Kraven the Hunter, he looks a hell of a lot different, but I really dig it. I really do like this one. And Frank Castle, I mean, this dude's like, this particular Frank Castle, he's not the Punisher, he's a cop, But this Frank Castle, to try and describe this Frank Castle, I think Sigmund Freud would jump out the fucking window. He's just like on like a Batman scale kind of paranoid. He's just a fucking douche. But Craven just comes off really, really cool looking. And, you know, see what all the stuff that Gwen's going through in here. It's just phenomenal stuff. I'm digging it. You know, it's not the best stuff from Marvel, but I'm really, really, truly digging this stuff. I love it. It gets a 3.5. Alright, ending the Marvel section of this stack with X-Men 92, number 5, Wish You Were Here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oop, almost dropped it. Okay. And here it's basically a Scott and Jean issue. This is heavily focused on Cyclops and Jean. And you would think the story's starting off really well. You see them out, you know, having a good time. They're in a cabin, just playing games, having fun. And then reality slaps us across the jaw and we see where they're really at. They're in a fucking lab with Mr. Goddamn Motherfucking Sinister. I swear, Mr. Sinister, he just can't quit jerking off to Scott and Jean. And it's just... his obsession with Scott and Jean is almost getting... it's getting comical. It really is. He's supposed to be, dare I say it, sinister. He's supposed to be devious. He's supposed to be conniving. He's supposed to look threatening and intimidating. But this ongoing obsession with Cyclops and Jean, it's getting to the point where it's almost laughable how obsessed he is with these two. And not only that, we get to see the Essex Men, which is basically a bunch of butt-ugly clones of Scott and Jean. You know, Scott shoots lasers out of his eyes. He's got a Cyclops clone that shoots lasers out of his hands, or he's got one that shoots lasers out of his mouth. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a Cyclops clone that shoots lasers out of his dick hole. But the thing is, and he's also got clones of Jean that have mind powers, or she's got brains for fists and stuff like that. It's just really weird shit. But they're in the future, hundreds of years in the future, and they come across the Phoenix, Rachel, come across their daughter. They are introduced to their son Nathan, Cable. But Cable in here is a young child. He looks like, well, he could be like 10 or maybe 12 years old. And, you know, they swear it's like, you know, Rachel's life force is what's keeping Scott and Jean in this time period. And something goes off, and Scott and Jean find themselves fading away, and in their fading breath, they promise Cable that will find him. And Cable's first question is, when do I get a gun? I love that. And then the last page, I can't ruin it. Just, woo! Good stuff. Digging it. Gets a 4. Alright, let's move on to the indie stuff. We're going to Boom Studios with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Pink, number 2 of 6. Wow, this storyline is taking turns that I didn't really think it was going to take. The first issue was a solid beginning, you know, with Kimberly coming out of retirement using the Sword of Light that Zordon used to transfer Jason, Zack, and Trini's powers into Rocky, Adam, and Aisha, using the reserve energies from that sword to reestablish her powers and make her the Pink Ranger again. And I really dug Kimberly's new Power Ranger costume. It's different. It looks kind of more like Power Rangers meets Biker Gang, and I like that. But she finds out that Goldar is on a scam of his own, and Goldar's all alone on this. He doesn't have any backup from Rita or Lord Zed, and it's something that he personally is working on in his spare time, and he just happened to come across Kimberly, and at the end of the last issue, he mutated Kimberly's mother. Man, you don't get any more personal than that. But Kimberly knows she's outmatched. She can't fight all these things by herself, so she talks to Zordon and gets some help. I feel like I have to kind of spoil a few things in here to understand so you can understand why I'm loving this so much. But Zordon gets through to Kimberly and decides that she does need some help. And who does she get? I can't ruin it. I can't. It was so refreshing to see where she goes to for help. Just really good stuff. And by the end of the issue, we get to see another big part of Goldar's plan. Goldar makes a big reveal by the end of the issue. Oh, fuck. And it answers a big question that I've always had about Power Rangers when Season 3 began. But I just don't want to ruin anything. I'll probably talk about it when I review the 3rd issue, but trust me, if you're a fan of Power Rangers, then you will dig this. This is good stuff. I'm really glad I picked up on it. But wow, so much better logic in here than the actual show had. Who'd have thunk it? Solid stuff. Gets a 4. Let's keep it going with IDW, Gem and the Holograms, number 17. This is the beginning of a new storyline. Yeah. It's like they're, it's like the holograms are, trying to, take it easy after the whole Dark Gem storyline happened, after they got rid of Silica. And they decided to just go out, have a good time, get all the gang together, get some dates. But there's just one little problem. Kimber wants to invite her girlfriend, Stormer, but Stormer is actually with the Misfits. It's kind of like the whole inviting the enemy syndrome stuff. But Jem and the rest of the girls are happy to bring her in. So Kimber tells Stormer where they're going to be meeting at and everything, because they want to be out and open in their relationship, and that's cool. But Pizzazz really pours the guilt trip on Stormer. It's like, look, Kimber's your girlfriend, but she's with a rival band, betraying the sisterhood and all that bullshit. But Stormer decides to go meet Jem and her gang. And then curveball in terms of storytelling. And oh man, I can certainly see why some of my friends on the internet are particularly pissed off about this little curveball, because of what could possibly happen. But then again, you gotta think about it. This is a comic book based off a fucking cartoon. I really don't think, and I'm pretty sure my old friend Samantha is probably pissed off about this little plot twist in the book. But Sam, if you're watching, don't freak out too bad. I really don't think they're gonna go there. I really don't. I mean, teasing a possible killing off of a character, I don't think they're gonna do that. I really don't. But then again, shocking things have happened in comic books. But still, a pretty solid issue for what it is. It's cute, it's fun, and no, I still have not ever watched the original cartoon. I'll get around to it sometime, probably. But still, decent for what it is. It gets a 3.5. Let's keep the IDW goodness going with My Little Pony Friendship is Magic number 44. The continuation of the storyline in which all the ponies, the main 6, have been infected with this water that has manipulated them and made them basically evil. You still got Twilight wanting to be Empress of Ponyville, and Rarity wanting to rule Ponyville, even if it means destroying everything in the process. You got Pinkie Pie wanting to be a stand-up comedian that hurts people. You got Fluttershy, who's basically turned into Poison Ivy in a way, with the forest and her animals as her animal friends as her ruthless followers and all that stuff. And you still got, Applejack being a tyrant, being greedy. Rainbow Dash, still sounding off sonic rain booms, disrupting the lance and stuff like that. They pretty much villainized the main 6, and the Cutie Mark Crusaders, they've enlisted the help of Princess Luna, and even Luna's having trouble calming them down, trying to find a cure from Zecora. But then Pinkie Pie probably does the most damage in this book. She did something that I thought was actually pretty damn clever from a villain perspective, and Pinkie manages to fuck everything up in one fell swoop. And that last page, I'm like, fuck! Now what? Gets a 4. Let's keep it rolling. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 60. Jesus, it's hard to believe this is gone on for 60 issues, and I've jumped on board at issue 1. Fuck. Eastman and Wall still killing it. They are still killing it. Let's see, issue 60, 12 issues in a year. This has been going on for 5 freaking years. That's wild. But still running very consistently. Still doing a good job with this. Wow. The whole mind control thing, you know, Splinter's trying to combat it, and I believe his name was Kitsumi, or hell, hang on. I want to make sure I got this character's name down right. My mind's slipping a little bit. Kitsune, I got it right, okay. But there was a big tease that she had stabbed Master Splinter at the end of the last issue, and gotta love the plot convenience. He just happened to be wearing a Kevlar vest underneath his kimono to, you know, keep him from dying. That's really good. But Kitsune is able to shift the odds in her favor by actually mind manipulating some of the turtles, and Splinter and Leonardo's able to keep it shook off because he's dealt with it before. He knows how to fight it, but he's able to shake it off enough to help Splinter combat the other turtles, and Splinter's actually able to take them down, but of course he's apologizing for it at the same time. It's just really cool stuff, and I really dug who it was that ended up beating Kitsune at the end of the book. Really dug that. Huh. Still kind of thinks of like a little plot convenience in there, but it still was a nice touch. I really dug it. Solid stuff though, and I really dug the last page with the whole well played Hamato Yoshi thing. It's just really good. Gets a 4. Freaking hot in here. All right, let's move on to the DC stack. Action Comics number 960. Dan Jurgens still killing it, and Kirkham's artwork is just fantastic. In here, Wonder Woman jumps into the fray, and she saves Clark Kent from Doomsday. Still trying to figure out what the hell's going on here with this human Clark Kent, who is basically a male Lois Lane in this storyline. But you know, Superman and Wonder Woman, they team up to combat Doomsday, and then they realize that this particular Doomsday may be a little more intelligent than he originally was, and it's like, uh-oh, he can hunt. And he knows exactly what Doomsday is planning to do, so he goes to go save his family. And it's just really good stuff. But unfortunately, by the end of the issue, we see Doomsday tackling with Wonder Woman, and she's on her own. Good stuff, good writing, solid artwork. I'm just digging this. Dan Jurgens is doing a great job, and so many mysteries, so many questions are still up in the open that we don't know what the hell's going on. But still, it's phenomenal stuff. It gets a 4. Batgirl number 1. Larson and Albuquerque. This is basically Barbara globetrotting. This issue starts her off in Japan. And whew, let's get some air over here. Yeah, nice backdrop here. a little warm. But yeah, she's in Japan, you know, just having a good time. She comes across an old friend of hers, and she's learning some stuff about an old Japanese hero called the Fruit Bat and everything. Yeah, this came off kind of like an average read, but it was still good. Still dug it, and it turns out it seems like in the next issue we're going to Singapore. So okay, I'll go with it. See where it goes. Not a bad start. Just not a really great one. I'll give it a 3.5. Alright, Detective Comics number 937. James Tynion IV and Martinez. Oh man, really fun stuff. Now, granted, I'm not 100% fond of the whole, you know, Batwoman's father, you know, is the mastermind behind the whole kidnapping and defeat of Batman. We're going through this classic propaganda, U.S. soldiers gotta protect the world and all that crap. It's like, I'll be willing to break the law for my country kind of shit. And that's... I've seen that particular style of storytelling so many goddamn times. It's nothing new. It's getting kind of played out. It's like, it's like, well, are you gonna kill me for your country? I believe I'm gonna put my country first, and I'll kill you for it, and all that crap. But I really dug the ending. I really did, with Batwoman making her decision, and I'll just leave it at that. A solid read, though. I did enjoy it. I'll give it a 3.5, though. The Flash, number 3. Now, a lot of people have super speed, and with everyone super, no one will be. Williamson and I butchered that name. I am so sorry. But, yeah. This was good. This was good stuff. It's like... It just seems kind of odd now that a lot of people now in Central City have gotten speed powers due to that Speed Force thunderstorm and all that stuff. This was fun for what it was. Not really much else to say. I'm kind of at a loss for words with this one. It just feels kind of odd to see everybody zipping around and everything. And it's leading up to the big arrival of Godspeed and everything. It was good. I dug it. I liked it. You know, it's... I'm just at a loss for words for this one. That doesn't mean the book was bad. It was good. But, I'll say this about Godspeed. His costume looks awesome. Gets a 3.5. My mind just went blank there for a second. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, number 1. Vin D, Sandoval. Good stuff. You would think in this, you know, Hal Jordan is basically all on his own. You know, he's the only Green Lantern left patrolling space. You know, you got Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz back patrolling the Earth, back on Sector 2814. So Hal's on a quest to look for the Green Lantern Corps, and in here we also see Sinestro give himself one last hurrah, one last charge from Parallax to reignite the Sinestro Corps. I still don't know what happened though. What was it that made him so old and frail in the blink of an eye? We still don't know, or at least I don't know what the hell happened there. And I've been told that it still has yet to be answered. So okay, a mystery is there and I'm ready to see the answer. But then by the end of the issue, there's hope. And no, that was not a reference to the Blue Lantern Corps. I'm sorry, I chose the wrong word. But by the end of the issue, things are looking up. That's what I'll say. Good stuff, though, nonetheless. It gets a 3.5. Harley Quinn, number 30. This is the ending of Volume 1. It really shouldn't be. I mean... I think they're just renumbering this back to #1 just because of the Rebirth stuff, and I'll just relaunch everything except for Detective in Action. But yeah, this was fun. It was cute. It's everything I've come to expect from a Harley Quinn book. You know, Harley's doing some sort of, you know, rebellious demonstration, you know, activist kind of stuff, you know, like chain herself to a tree to keep it from getting bulldozed and everything. And then she has Big Tony to take over, and she's got to go run off and do some stuff. It was cute, it was fun, I liked it. As a finale to Volume 1, it kind of was like, it was alright. But the best stuff was the last scene involving Harley and Ivy. Yeah, that stuff was cute. It gets a 3.5. Alright, Nightwing #1. Who put this dick on a book? Tim Seeley. Oh, good stuff. This is really good stuff. You know, Dick is secretly working for the Parliament of Owls, and you know, but he's kind of like undercover, and you know, he's going to work with them in order to bust them and everything. And he actually goes to Bruce and Damian for advice, for help, and Bruce is like, you know, basically just putting his foot down and saying, you know what, you be your own man. You know, I've never minded helping you before, but this time you have to dig yourself out, figure your own way out. And I was like, I respect that. You know, it's time for Dick to figure stuff out on his own. And unfortunately, the Parliament of Owls still doesn't fully trust him, so they send him a new partner. Hence the title of the storyline is This Guy Better Than Batman. Not a bad beginning, not a bad new beginning to Nightwing. It was good for what it was. I'd give it a 3.5. Titans #1. Dan Abnett and Booth. Good stuff. Dug this. I really did. You know, the Titans are, you know, trying to get through into Wally's head and try to find out if there's any more lost memories that they can reawaken. Yet at the same time, they accidentally reawaken something else, and it makes a big reveal on the last page, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty much all this was. Nice though, and I'm really digging Wally's outfit. It looks really awesome. You know, he's not a Kid Flash anymore. He's a Flash, and I like that he's got his own unique costume, you know, to differentiate himself from Barry. Awesome. Not the best stuff in the world, but I liked it for what it was. I give it a 3.5. And we're ending this stack with Wonder Woman #3. Greg Rucka, just phenomenal stuff. And Sharp did great stuff with the artwork. But this is, I believe, this is the next part of the Lies storyline. I've been slipping so far behind. Yeah, this is part 2 of the Lies storyline, in which Diana's trying to figure out more of the truth, the honest-to-God truth about who she is, where she came from, how she came to be. Is she even the god of war anymore? Is she the queen of the Amazon? What is this? What about this? What about that? And in here, she's, you know, still reaching out to Cheetah, this is probably one of the better designs for Cheetah that I've seen in a long time. Cheetah looks amazing in this issue. We also find out what's going on with Steve Trevor and his gang of people. It's just all kinds of crazy shit's going on in here, and the action is good. The plot is good. The pacing is good. But my God, the artwork is just incredible. Fucking great stuff. And Greg Rucka really knows how to nail this character. This was a really good issue. It gets a 4. Alright. That is all for that stack. Now, let's get on to the second stack. And the second stack is mostly DC, 1 Indie, and 1 Marvel. So let's get the 1 Marvel out of the way. The Daredevil Annual #1. Mackenzie and Torres, they do the little split story, The Multiple Minds of Melvin Potter, which was good, but Charles Soule and and Del Rey, they did the main story involving the return of Echo. Now that cover's a little bit misleading. It makes the cover looks like the Echo is the threat. No, Echo is the aid. The threat is Claw. And wow, what a way for Claw to come back in. Now the storyline, it was a bit head scratching, but I get it. I really get it. I thought it was fine. You know, Claw can manipulate with sound, and who better to combat him than someone who's deaf with Echo. She really can't hear anything, but she can feel the wavelengths of the sound, and she can actually interpret them into shapes and stuff like that, and it's just really cool. The way Claw comes back is he's using sounds, and he's basically using sounds and vibrations to basically zombify people, and he even gets to Daredevil in this issue. Minor spoiler there. And I like the way they were able to combat him and, you know, break his signal over the people, and it was just really fun. Now, is this worth $5? In my opinion, not really. It was fine. I dug it. But it's just a one and done story, which sometimes an annual needs to be that way. But I think annuals are more important when they tie into stories that it makes them feel more necessary, because there are times when people just skip annuals because they feel like just one and done stories for extra money. But in here, this was fine for what it was. I give it a 3.5. Alright, let's go on to the indie from Broadsword Comics. Tarot Witch of the Black Rose, number 99. We're one issue away from the big 100. In here, Tarot is steadily approaching her wedding to her fiancé John, the Skeleton Man. And she gets invited to a soiree, a party in the fairy realm, and she decides to attend. She comes across some old friends, and, you know, she's like, I don't want to get too, so she doesn't want to get too wasted or stuff like that. You know, she's got to be ready for her wedding, her upcoming marriage. And, you know, they convince her, you know what, just fuck it and just have a good time. So it happens, and she comes across a viper, a snake. He's like, I just want to give you a good luck kiss, and he bites her on the nipple. And it starts to numb her. The poison's going in, and he bites her several more times. And then we see the antagonist in this issue, and wow, pretty clever plan. Even though I've seen storytelling like this before, we're going to use the whole clone you out of something else story. And this character decides to clone Tarot out of a log of wood, using magic to clone Tarot and send this clone back to the real world. And that last page was just damn weird to look at. Wow. I don't know where they're going with this. This was fun, but it was odd. But I thought it was fine for what it was. I like it. It gets a 3.5. Now for the big DC stack. Aquaman number 4. And Amnet still doing a good job with this. Arthur's still in custody still in custody of the United States government. You know, completely paranoid about, you know, any peace treaties or anything like that. But Mara is just beyond pissed. She's just fucking impatient. She's wanting to know what the hell's going on, where is her love, you know, and stuff like that. And she's like even talking to people, talking to Tula, talking to people in Atlanta, saying, I'm about ready to punch their president through the goddamn wall. Mara is just an awesome character. And things happen, and some Atlantean people have made an attack, and some Atlanteans who are trying to help Arthur in his cause, they're investigating, and unfortunately miscommunication happens, and the United States government finds them, and they automatically assume they're the culprits. So Mara's had enough, and I can't ruin the ending. Mara's about ready to blow. Arthur's trying to be understanding. He's trying to, cooperate. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to say fuck it and just take risks. And it's pretty much all this was. Nice ending, but with a holy shit cliffhanger. Good stuff. Give it a 4. Let's move on to Batman number 4. Tom King and David Finch. This is good stuff. The further teasing the upcoming Monster Men storyline with more suicides, more deaths, and it's all tying up to this, Gotham and Gotham Girl stuff. But Batman is just not having any of it. So many people are ending up dead. My favorite scene in this was Gotham throwing something big and metal into the Batmobile, and one of Batman's new partners is like, "Hey, I got the information you need. You want me to send it to the car?" And he's like, "No, don't send it to the car." That was actually pretty good. But wow, we find out more about what's going on with Hugo Strange and the Psycho Pirate. Yeah, the Psycho Pirate is one of the antagonists of this story, and it's good to see him again. If I can think right off the top of my head, I think the last time I saw the Psycho Pirate was during Crisis on Infinite Earths, nearly 30 freaking years ago. That was from a story 30 freaking years ago. But wow, it's just good to see the Psycho Pirate again, and he's just using his power of emotion, and that's why Gotham Girl's in the shape that she's in, and that's why Gotham's in the shape he's in. Just all around good storytelling. I'm really digging this. I give it a 4. Batman Beyond number 15. And Jurgens. Man, Jurgens just, he knows his shit, man. He really does. But in here, Tim is trying to figure out more about Rewire. Spoiler alert, it was revealed in the last issue, Rewire is Terry McGinnis, who in fact wasn't killed during the Brother Eye thing. And he's been saved, and now he's being manipulated by Spellbinder. And Terry McGinnis doesn't even know that he is who he is. He thinks he's Rewire, and he's working under Spellbinder, who's cast a spell on himself, and Terry sees Spellbinder as a little old lady who he's just, being a good Samaritan for. That's what Terry sees in his head. And in this issue, it's the big reveal. Now everybody sees that it's Terry, including Terry's brother, Matt. It's shaping up to be a damn good storyline, and unfortunately it's already been spoiled by DC Comics themselves that Terry McGinnis is going to get the cowl back once Batman Beyond gets restarted with the Rebirth stuff. So, good job there, DC. You stupid idiots. But still a fun issue nonetheless. It gets a 3.5. Bombshells, number 16. Marjorie Bennett. Man, she's killing it on this title. The first half, you see Batwoman getting a team together, and she's talking with, I believe, Huntress, about something that happened to her a long time ago involving a young kid named Jason. Yeah, nice little winks and nods in here. And the second story with Mara and Arthur. I'm sorry, Aquaman's not in this. It's Arthur Curry, but he's not Aquaman. He's just Arthur Curry. But the main thing was with Mara. She's trying to reclaim her power and her authority on Atlantis. And it's sister versus sister in here. but not before Mira's sister does something pretty damn in here. Fun issue. Dug it. I'm really loving it. I'm still loving the fact that Harley and Ivy in this particular title are a full-blown couple. I'm just thrilled at that. Just really good stuff. And they really look like they truly do love each other. Just awesome stuff. But the stuff with Mira is just fantastic. Good book, good read. It gets a 4. Green Lanterns number 4. Humphreys and Bennis. Jesus, this is good. In here, it's, you know, time to nut up or shut up. Simon Boz has got his hands full. His own partner, Jessica, has been infected with the rage, and she's about ready to kill him. And what's worse, their rings are about dead. But how is, like, minor spoiler, he's able to snap her out of it just in time so they can recharge their ring. Because that's the drawback of working with her. They have to share a power battery, and the only way they can recharge their rings is that they have to do it together. Good job there, Hal. Working it up that way. But it's time that they put aside their differences, open up to each other, get the honesty shit, and get all that stuff off their chest, and then get back to work. Fantastic. I loved it. And the Red Lanterns, they're going to... I'm just digging what they're doing with the Red Lanterns, and it was good to see Dexter be one of the main attackers in here. Just good stuff. I dug it. I'll give it a 3.5. All right, moving on to Harley Quinn number 1. I got the Amanda Conner cover, whereas Jennifer got the other cover. Take a look at that. That's really cool. I kind of dig that. But I always got to go with some Amanda Conner stuff. I mean, she's just really good with this. But yeah, in here, let me go ahead and set that one down. But it doesn't really feel like a new beginning for Harley. It feels more like a continuation with plenty of exposition. That's what it more or less feels like in here. And I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't revert Harley back to being with the Joker. That was one thing with this. That was probably one of my biggest fears with the Rebirth stuff and relaunching and restarting everything. I was really worried they were going to restart Harley Quinn and have her going back to the Joker and being the punching bag for the Joker. Thank God they didn't go there. Thank God. Because they just need to keep Harley the way she is and everything will be fine. This was no different. This was still some really good stuff. I really appreciate the character development in here. It's more or less the same fun stuff from Harley that we've been seeing all this time, and it's just really good. Not much else to say without spoiling the hell out of it. I mean, it's just fun shit. It's pretty much what I can say about it. It gets a 3.5. Stick with Harley. Harley Quinn and Her Gang of Harleys, number 4 of 6. Yeah, this was fun. This was fun as well. But just, it's not as fun as the main Harley series is. Frank Thierry is the writer, and they try. They really try with this. It's just the Harley Sin character and where she's keeping Harley is just a little too hokey for me. It's kind of like, you know, Batman the 60s Batman TV show kind of corny. It's getting there with the whole, you know, big evil stronghold, evil castle, lightning in the background, fires and all that stuff. Blah, ha 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 ha. It just, Harley Sin's headquarters looks really stock cliche to the point where I almost face-palmed at it. It looked so stupid. And what she's doing to Harley is just as silly, but it is entertaining for what it is. The gang is still trying to rescue her. It's starting to feel I mean, man, they're trying to make this also look kind of like a Mario game, you know, go through all the levels and get to the big castle and save the princess, you know, kind of way. And then the cliffhanger. Damn it. Still, it's fun, but it's getting hokey, it's getting goofy, and it's getting a little too silly. But it's still not bad for what it is. I'll give it a 3.5 as well. Justice League number 2. Brandon Hex, Tony Daniel. Still some good stuff. Now, I know I've said in the past, you know, at the Rebirth and the first issue of Justice League, you know, that this particular lineup, they need Superman. I'm starting to see the propaganda in that. It's like, okay, they're dealing with all of this stuff, and the group is called the Kindred, and, you know, there's like, we're taking our stuff back, we're taking back our words, our world, you took it from us, we're taking it back, and it's infecting humanity, you know, causing chaos and destruction amongst the planet and everything, and they're like, we need Superman. The Justice League needs a Superman. It's like, it reeks of propaganda, and, you know, but for what they're dealing with here, yeah, they kind of do need a Superman. And the Superman that they're needing is not the Superman they worked with. You know, this is our Superman. This is my Superman. The pre-52 Superman. The true one. Not that new 5'2" shit that changed to Superman like a goddamn Power Ranger. I mean, this is Superman. And Bruce is, you know, of course, the one to go ask for help, and you know, he's like, I don't trust him. He's not the Clark I trusted with my life, so I don't trust him, and all that, blah blah blah. I'm Batman, blah blah blah. But he makes a pretty damn good request. It's just, we know Clark's gonna comply. We know Clark's gonna help. It's who he is. So to end it on a cliffhanger of, will Superman help him? Fuck, of course he will. Shit. You might as well have had Batman ask him, can you help this kitten out of a tree? I mean, he's fucking Superman. What the hell do you think he's going to do? You think he's going to tell Batman to piss off at the beginning of the beginning of the next issue? Bullshit. But still pretty good for what it is. I give it a 3.5. Alright, Nightwing number 2. I still got it. I got another dick in the bag. Tim Seeley and Fernandez. This is more good stuff. More bonding. It's some bonding time for Nightwing and Raptor. Let's get to know each other. Let's be friends, and let's be friends my ass. I mean, Raptor's a dick. Nightwing is Dick Grayson. But in all seriousness, though, it's fun. It's good. Well, I wouldn't say it's fun. It's, you know, it's a test. You know, is Raptor a better partner than Batman? No. In my opinion, he's not. You know, it's like the quips and the jabs that they take at each other. You know, it is a bit ridiculous at some parts, but there are some parts it's like, okay, maybe these two need to work together to figure out what the fuck they're doing. Still good for what it is. I'm still on board with this. I'm wanting to know more about what's going on here. Good book, just not really powerfully strong good. I'll give it a 3.5. Suicide Squad Rebirth. Williams, tan, and an Amanda Connor cover. This is pretty much the reforming of the Suicide Squad to capitalize on the success of or lack of success, or whatever fuck, from the movie. It's like, now's the perfect time to reintroduce the Suicide Squad since we just put out a goddamn movie. Which in my opinion, it was good. Jennifer and I did a review on Suicide Squad at Arkham Asylum Studio. Go check it out, cheap plug. Yeah, it seems like the cover does a good job of who the main 3 focused characters are going to be. Killer Croc, Deadshot, and Harley Quinn. I mean, but then again, look at the characters. You get a Suicide Squad team with Deadshot and Harley Quinn on it. you know who which characters are going to get the most focus. But it's basically just it's pretty much a standard introductory issue to the team. It's still good. I'm digging it, and now that I've read this, I want to see more. It did a good job of, you know, getting everything reintroduced and everything. Fine, it did a fine job. But I'm more of a fan of seeing Harley with a hammer, with other weapons besides guns. To me, a gun just doesn't always look right with Harley. I'm used to seeing her with knives, with hammers, with mallets, with baseball bats and stuff. Seeing her with machine guns and everything, it just doesn't look as right. But still not bad. I give it a 3.5. And we're finally ready to end this with Superman number 4. Tomasi and Gleason. Oh, God. Long story short, Superman and Son make the Eradicator pay for what he did to Crypto. And man, did they make him pay. Knocks the ever-loving hell out of him. But then again, the Eradicator's not down. Great issue. Tomasi does a great job with this. Gleason does a great job with the artwork. I am just digging this Superman run. It just feels right to see Superman as a dad. It really does feel right. You know, he's one of the most iconic heroes in the history of not just comics, but in the history of pop culture itself. Why can't he have something that looks realistic? Family. Future. I'm not a fan of storylines where superheroes, they always have to be alone. So that's why it feels right to see Superman as a dad, as a family man. You know, he's got someone other than the entire planet. He's got something personal at stake. He's always got somebody be there for him, for support, and he's got somebody to constantly protect, somebody to look out for. And when and it's time for him to hang up the cape, he has a future to pass on to in his son. I'm digging where they're going with this. It's just really good stuff. I don't know. It just feels more right. But awesome issue nonetheless. It gets a 4. Well, that's it for this big stack of shit. But I want to thank y'all for joining me. I'm about ready to go have me a cold drink. It is rather warm right now. Please subscribe to this channel. Don't forget Blugoblin X. I promise I'm going to try my best to get back into my wrestling talk and my Midtown comic stashes. I still got a stack of Archie comics that I have yet to read from my bro Chris, the Mount Vernon Kid, sent me. I get to that as soon as I can. Don't forget Arkham Asylum Studio. We did a review for Suicide Squad. We did a review for the Killing Joke animated movie. Go check those out. Follow me here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or Tumblr. First thing, before I go, I need to say something about Tumblr. I'm really close, and to all my friends that I talk to on Tumblr, I apologize, but I'm about ready to be done with Tumblr. I'm getting tired. Normally I would be excited about gaining new followers, but here lately I've been getting nothing but fucking porn bots following my channel. My channel's supposed to be comic book related. Yes, I do share some posts that might not be considered safe for work, you know, stuff like that. That's something. But almost every follower I've been getting for the past few months, it's been nothing but robotic porn blogs. It's just, I'm getting sick of it. And if Tumblr don't fix this shit soon, then I'm done. I'll probably be deleting my account. But I'm still on there as of right now. I'm just not posting on Tumblr that much anymore. I mostly use Tumblr to just keep track of my inbox and share these comic book reviews from YouTube. That's pretty much it. So that's it for this review, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hail Hydra. I'll see y'all later.